In today's video, I'm going to be discussing Wednesday and the announcement out of the Fed, as well as what it means for your money and how we could potentially be getting some unexpected news. I have all the details for you here in the video. Let's get into it and discuss what's going on. First off, thank you so much for liking and sharing this video with those buttons right down below. I really do appreciate it. Also, if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe to the channel as well with the subscribe button right down below. Again, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. We've got to stick together right now. It is a rough time out there. I think we all understand that. Anyway, let's talk about Wednesday and discuss what is going on as we're getting this very important announcement out of the Fed. And like I said just a second ago, we could be getting some unexpected news as well with this announcement. We'll have to wait and see. We don't know quite yet, but this is going to be very interesting, and it's game on as of right now. And this could be potentially the time, okay? So I want to break down the details of that. Now, the last couple of years here, again, I don't need to sit here and tell you this over and over. We all recognize this. It's been very rough financially for virtually everybody. Pretty much nobody has any money right now, racking up debt on credit cards, basically having no money to pay the bills. Late payments are surging right now, delinquencies on credit card payments. Again, the list goes on and on. Foreclosures are rising with homes. Repossession of cars is rising. Again, does this give us a little bit of a sign of as to what's going on? Yeah, because inflation has basically eaten up all of our purchasing power. Inflation has eaten up any money that we've had, any savings that we've possibly had if we're lucky enough to have any is gone for the vast majority of people. All of our money that we receive, as in, fixed income benefits, money that we earn, whatever it happens to be on a monthly, weekly, bi-weekly basis, whatever it is, again, gets eaten up right away. A lot of people don't have enough food. Again, the list goes on and on. I don't need to sit here and tell you all this stuff. You're living it just as much as I am. We get it. The last few years have been really rough. And again, the Fed has not exactly helped out a whole ton with this because they've increased interest rates significantly, and they're just holding interest rates steady, very high. This is the highest that we've had interest rates since 2001, okay? What is that, 23 years ago? Yeah, the last time we had interest rates this high, 23 years ago, okay? We all know what happened back in 2000, 2001, right? 24, 23 years ago, something like that. Major economic crash, collapse, whatever you want to call it. Not a good situation. But here's what's going on. So on Wednesday, we have the Federal Reserve wrapping up their two-day FOMC meeting. Now, this is a meeting that they have once every 6 weeks. They get together, a bunch of economists, a bunch of supposedly smart people, and they get together and they talk about the economy, what's going on, and all kinds of things like this. And then we get the announcement at 2 p.m. East Coast time coming out on Wednesday with the decision from the Federal Reserve as far as what are they going to do with interest rates. Are they going to hold steady? Are they going to raise again? This is an option as well that they've floated and they talked about is, hey, we might need to raise interest rates again because inflation is not coming down fast enough. That'd be bad. That'd be really bad if they did that, but they could potentially do it. Now, there is a consensus out there that maybe they could be cutting interest rates this time, okay? I don't know about this one, okay? If they do it this time, in my opinion, remember this much as well. The only reason they'd be cutting interest rates at this time for political reasons. That's literally the only reason. Inflation has not come back down to their target of 2%, where they said, they've said this for years now, they wanted at 2%, okay? So if they were to cut now, it would strictly be 100% political, okay? Again, not bashing anybody, not taking sides. I'm just simply saying that's the truth. We all know it. It's not like some big mystery. It's not like, oh my, that was a shock. I didn't see that one coming. So the consensus is possibly they cut this time. We don't know that yet. I think it's going to be a little bit early. I think they're going to pause yet again and see what happens. But the next meeting that they have is going to be in September, okay? So the next one will be in the middle of September. Now, that one is going to be the last meeting before what's going on in November, okay? So actually, the next meeting is the day after the elections in November. So interesting, right? But anyway, so this is what we want to continue watching going forward, is that this time I anticipate the Federal Reserve to pause yet again with interest rates. Again, keeping interest rates very high. And any of us that are floating balances on credit cards, that's me, yeah. Not fun, just telling you right now, okay? Those interest rates are brutal, 24 point something%. I'd have to look again, it's changing every so often, but it's like 24 point 24.18 or something like that, 24.2 or something like that. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy high interest rates right now. So not a fun thing if you're paying interest on anything right now, and if the rate is not locked, not a fun situation, right? So this is making it really difficult for a lot of people to do virtually anything. If you want to buy a new car, guess what? You're going to pay very high interest rates. If you want to buy a house, yeah, good luck. You're going to pay about 7.25% interest rates on a 30-year fixed, right? It might be a little bit different if you're doing a 15-year, a 20-year. That's an option, not very common, but it is an option. You could be doing an adjustable rate mortgage. That's dangerous, but you could do that and lock in something lower. But my point is, this is making it expensive for everybody to live their lives right now, and it's based on the decisions out of the Fed. So this time, I anticipate we're going to pause again, but remember this much. At the same time, there's a couple other options. There's 3 options. Raise interest rates. They've said they could possibly do that if this inflation doesn't continue going down faster. They could raise again, they could continue to pause, or they could cut. So if they cut, basically what they're saying is that, hey, we see weakness in the economy, and we're going to start cutting interest rates now to kind of get ahead of the curve, okay? Now, let me tell you another little side note about the Federal Reserve. Generally, they start raising interest rates way too late, and they cut interest rates way too late as well, okay? They're usually way behind where they really need to be all the time. So when the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates, a lot of people say, oh, hooray, this is a really good thing. Now, it is a good thing when they cut interest rates because it makes it a little bit easier for us financially to breathe, right? A little bit easier. But the problem with that is when they start cutting, what that tells us is that, hey, we see dark storm clouds on the horizon of the economy, and we're going to start cutting now to potentially avoid a major catastrophe in the economy, a major economic contraction, a major economic recession. That's why they start cutting. So when people see this, they think, oh, this is good. Well, it depends how you look at it. It's good because, yeah, it makes borrowing a little bit easier for us as consumers if we're, again, borrowing any kinds of money and paying interest on it. But that's one side of the story. But the other side of the story is that the Federal Reserve sees something as in not looking good. The economy is bad here. The economy is starting to get bad. We need to start cutting interest rates now, okay? So the more aggressive that they start cutting, the more that they're warning and basically saying, we see something bad here, okay? So if they just come in and cut, say, 25 basis points, 1/4%, like the ECB did, actually, I could be wrong on that. It was a central bank in Europe. I'm not sure if it was the ECB. It could have been. But anyway, they cut like 25 basis points like, I don't know, a month and a half or something ago. And everyone was like, wow, this is going to be it, the start, right? Basically what they're saying is that it's not much. 25 basis points, that's like nothing. That's like as small as they typically go. But it's something, right? It helps out a little bit. But if they start coming in and cutting 50 basis points, 0.5%, then they're saying, we've got something coming here, and we're going to kind of quick start cutting rates here pretty fast. So anyway, I could sit here and ramble on about this forever because this is actually pretty interesting, and I find it to be fascinating if you look at all the different details about it. But anyway, that's what's going on Wednesday, okay? So I'm going to continue watching this very closely. I'll bring you the details as I get them out of the Fed. But remember, 2 p.m. East Coast time is when we get that initial announcement, and then 2:30 East Coast time is when we get the press conference with the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, as well. So we'll be listening to that one, and that one will be pretty interesting as he answers those questions. So anyway, so I want to give you a quick detailed update on this and kind of what we foresee going forward. So I'll continue to keep you posted on this. Again, please subscribe down below, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, question, feedback down below. Otherwise, check out the other videos here on the channel, including the thousands in the video library, the ones I've hand selected for you down below in the description or the top of the comment section. And right now, popping up on your screen, you'll see some videos there as well. Take your selection now. Thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Take care, and I'll catch you again later in the next